Hi, this is the first of what I hope is going to be a series of videos I'm going to be able to produce for you. The aim of which is going to be to help you get the most from your site by showing you how to do various things, how to use the features, etc. within the panel. As this is the first, it's really just a quick introduction to the control panel. So when you want to do something on your site, you've got a clue where to look. I'd recommend this for all new customers, but also anyone who doesn't log in too often, as there may well be features you're unaware of, or even ones you knew about but didn't really know how to use, so haven't bothered. So, please kind of have a watch of this. So first thing to do, of course, is to log in. Now, if you don't have an email with the address of the control panel, don't worry about it. Just go to the main site here, drivinginstructorsites.co.uk, nice and easy to remember. Click the login and it takes you to the panel. So if you're unsure of your username and password, then you just click on the link there and it will take you to the password request. Just put your website address in there, click the button, and that will send you the appropriate information through. Okay, so let's log in. And this is, I'm just using a fake account I use for various things, including for the purposes of demonstrations here. So when you go into the panel, you see that there's a news feed, which will update to show any new items. This will show any postings since your last visit. But if you want to see previous postings, then simply click the View All News buttons there, and that will then show all the old ones as well. So they're kept there for just for reference. Okay, the majority of these posts will just be about new or improved features, but could also be about known issues or perhaps warnings about scams doing the rounds, etc. So worth having a quick look through. You don't have to, if you start working and then decide you want to have a quick look at the news again, you don't have to log out and back in again. You can just click the news section there and that will show you the same stuff. Okay, so let's start looking through the panel. We'll start with the account section. So first of all, this is where you see your invoices. Now, as this is a fake account, there's no actual invoices in there, but your invoices are kept permanently in the system, so you can print them off whenever you like, but they're not physical files, so they can't actually be emailed to you. You do need to log in and print those off. Okay. Now, when you initially request a draft, the system generates a random password, but should you want to change that, you can do so here. But what I do recommend, and it's becoming increasingly important, is that you start using different passwords for different sites. Using the same one for all your sites really isn't a good idea. So please try and use different ones. And what I do is actually keep a locked file with all my websites, passwords, etc. So I can always get to them if need be. Okay. Now the renewals page, as you may have expected, shows you all your renewal dates, and it also allows you to make payments when appropriate. Okay. Right, so let's look through the main editing section. Now this is where you'll be spending most of your time. So it won't be a massive surprise to you when I go in here that when you see contact and social media, this is where your contact info and links to social media are. It's all, I hope, reasonably self-explanatory. So you've got landline number, your mobile number. Now these are directly linked to your site. All right. So if you put them in here, they will show on your website. So if you don't want your landline number shown on site, just leave it blank. All right. You've got a couple of bits here, your personal contact info and your site contact form info. Now it's important that we have, if possible, a contact email address that isn't your site email address. All right. The reason being that should there be any kind of a problem with, I don't know, with email servers or whatever, and I need to get hold of people, then we need an alternative email address to send to. Okay. I won't go through these in massive detail simply because that's not the point of this video. All right. So the general info page, this is really where your school info, or your business info is kept. The area is covered, the footer text, etc. Now, what's actually happened is over time it's been pretty much replaced with other settings, and I will eventually be removing this page altogether, but it's worth just checking through and make sure that this is okay, this is all correct. But just one point to mention in here, in the areas covered box, this should be literally just a list of your areas separated by a comma. Don't be tempted to put things like "and surrounding areas" and "local villages," etc., etc. It does nothing for you. This information is used in various places and needs to be purely your list of areas. So don't start putting generic terms in there. Okay. Now, the main page here that people go to is the page editing. Now, this is where you actually obviously edit your page content, your text. You can also reorder them. You can set up sub-menus, as you can see here, etc. And again, this will be covered in a different email, because different video, sorry, because there's quite a lot to go through here. Adding and deleting pages is really quite straightforward now, and that's done through this page here. So you've got a list of all your pages that show up on the screen. You can delete them, and if you want to add another one, you just do so by creating one there, literally just putting a name of the new page in, click add page, job done. You can then go through and start adding the text, etc. Okay. Now, the area page editing is specifically for pages that target an individual area, and these are normally shown at the bottom of your site. This was created a few years ago, before you were able to add and delete your own pages quite so easily, but it's still quite relevant, and I will be posting a video specifically on these fairly soon, so keep an eye out for that one. Okay. Now, the image slides is a new feature that allows you to use multiple images set up as a slideshow on any page on your site. It's still in its infancy, but it works really nicely. There will be new styles, etc., that I'll be adding over time, and all these new features will be made available to you as they as they're created. All right. So the image management page is where, as you may expect, you manage your images. So you can upload them here, and you can upload up to 10 at a time. So that's quite straightforward. It's literally just a case of choosing the images you want to upload from your computer, clicking the upload, and Bob's your uncle, up they come. Now, once they're uploaded, they then become available for your sliders. You can put them in your price descriptions or as featured images that show at the top of the page. But you can also get generated code here, which allows you to paste that code into any page you like. And so you can use them in a variety of different ways once you've uploaded an image through this page. Okay. Now, the prices section speaks for itself. It's where you edit your price list, set your PayPal preferences. Obviously, if you've got that on your site, so if you've got PayPal, you can actually set up, for example, an admin fee if you want to cover your PayPal costs, etc. You can set up special offers on this in this section as well. And remember, now you can set up multiple price lists. So you can have various price lists, let's say for manual lessons, automatic lessons, intensive courses, and those price lists can be displayed on different pages throughout your site. So it's really quite flexible now. Talking of flexibility, the gallery is now massively improved, and you're not just stuck to it being on one individual page and therefore using it for one individual use. You can use it pretty much for anything you want, where you need to want to show a group of listings using a combination of images, video, and text. And the new feature is that each listing can now be clicked, and it will open up in its own individual page, which is great for the user, but it's also very good for the searches. So really worth putting some effort into this section, and I will be posting another video about this, obviously. Okay, the other sections on here where you've got the, other bits, etc. Now, what shows up here will vary depending upon what options you've got in place, but most of these are available to you. But just have a look through and kind of see what's what. Most of them are quite self-explanatory, but again, I will be posting individual videos for these as well. Okay, so on to the next section, which is the mobile. Now, you'll see there's actually some repeats of the pages found in the main editing section. And this is because a lot of these features I actually developed specifically for use on the mobile layout first, but have now been able to include them in the new version 5 sites. So they are exactly the same. They link to the same pages. It's really just kind of how the control panel's been built. I will be moving them out of the mobile section in the future, but people without version 5 sites don't have it in their main editing section. That's why it has to be in there in two different places. So in here, one important point is the color scheme, where you can actually change the color scheme of your mobile layout, and you can do that anytime you like, 24/7, as often as you like. You could change it hourly if you particularly wanted to. I can't see why you would, but it's there, and that's really quite straightforward. And again, loads of information I'll be putting out on that. Okay, one feature that's not on the desktop layout is the signatures page, which I will get to here if I can find it. There we are, pupil signature. Now, what this allows you to do is actually set up a page. So let's say, what this was originally built for is your terms and conditions. You can have that on your site, open it up on your mobile device, and it actually creates a box that the pupil can sign using their finger or a stylus, and that actually sends you and the pupil a copy of their signature with the terms and conditions, and it just kind of gives something that they know is on record as having signed. But it can be used for other things as well. As you're not just restricted to using it on a terms page. If you've got other uses for it, then fine, make use of it. The diary is an option that's really quite in depth. It's got a load of stuff in there, and I'll go over that in a completely different video. The SEO, forget about that for the time being. People that I look after their SEO will see various things in here. They'll be able to look at latest status, etc. But there will be some new sections coming into this fairly soon. All right. Now, I'm just going to skip the support. I'll come back to that later. The email section is obviously a really important one. And in here, what you'll get is the information you need to set up your email on any device, whether it's a computer, whether it's a mobile, etc. It's also got access to an online webmail. So if all else fails, you can always come in here and then go to your webmail, which shows you the emails directly on the server, and you can view, reply, etc. straight from there should you need to. Okay, have a look through these. I mean, this section's actually really reasonably big. Blimey, getting tongue-tied there. But an important new part is the edit contact forms, because you can now have multiple contact forms on your site. So you could have one for, I don't know, intensive courses. You could have one for each of your instructors, etc., etc. So that can be used in a variety of ways, and you can edit those contact forms so they've got specific input requests. But I will again be going through that in more detail in a future video. All right. So have a look through as well the options and useful information sections. That's worth having a look at. The mobile app is there. That's purely for customers who have a mobile app through my Full Fat Creative Services provider. So that won't appear on most sites. Oh, pardon me. Okay, so that leaves just the support section. I've left this to last because this really is important. I really want to try and stress this to people, that you should try and get familiar with this. It's really actually very straightforward. But because every job that is raised is dealt with by me, I don't have a 24/7 call center. I don't have a load of staff around me. With all the best will in the world, if you send a job request by text, email, Facebook Messenger, leaving a voicemail, etc., if I, for example, happen to be out at the time, I can see your text, and then by the time I get back in, I've forgotten it's there because I might have received a load of others, and I don't sit there and go through all my texts and all this kind of thing. So it's really important that any jobs you raised are done through this support section, because this logs it. It keeps it visible to me at all times until I go in and close the job down as being completed. All right, so please try and use this section. So to raise a new job is really quite straightforward. You go to the support section, go to add a request, tell me the type of job it is. I've simplified this by giving you 3 options now. So general inquiry, image changes, error on site. So if it's just, I don't know, you want a bit of code changing, let's say, or that you're having problems with a bit of text that you want changed, etc., then you just put it in here, write your request details down. Now, if, for example, you've got some code that needs to be added into your site, that's where you add it in this box here, in the add code required here. But that's all it's for. Any other requests, you just put the basic info in here, tell me what it is you need doing, and click add to jobs. You'll then be able to monitor that. You can go to the support history here, and it will keep your jobs open. It will tell you the status, and it will also tell you the position in the queue, so you can see, kind of get an idea of how quickly that's going to be done. But I do obviously kind of go through jobs on a basis of, well, if I've got a job that's going to take me a week and another job that's going to take me 2 minutes, I do the 2-minute job first. There's obviously a bit of common sense used in allocating time to these. Obviously, I try and get through jobs as quickly as I possibly can, but at busy times, obviously, it will take longer than when I'm quiet. But if you do it through this, it really does make a massive difference to me and enables me to help you that much quicker. There's nothing more frustrating than the customer phoning me up saying, when are you going to be able to do that job? And me turning around and say, well, what job? Because I've not seen the email, or the text has been forgotten about, etc. So please try and use this. Okay, well, there we go. That's the end of this video, and I hope it's been of some interest and some use. I will be starting work on further information videos to go through the very much more specific elements of it. If there's anything I've missed out, then please just let me know. Okay, hope to speak soon.